Welcome to the Sales Influence Podcast, where we talk about finding the why in how people buy. I'm your host, Victor Antonio. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for lending me your ears. Today, I want to talk about why won't you share? Why won't you share your pricing, your costs on your website? Now, let me back up. I'm reading a great book by Marcus Sheridan called You Ask, I Answer. Marcus Sheridan, You Ask, I Answer. I'm not done reading it yet, but when I do, if I really love it, I'll recommend it strongly. But so far, it's like a great novel. It's a great read. Marcus Sheridan, in this book, tells a story about how he built his pool company. And one of the things he says really helped propel him to really get more business from his website, increase conversion rate, drive qualified prospects, was the simple answer of helping people with pricing on the websites. For example, he has a pool company. And he tells a story about how he kept getting the question about, well, how much does it cost? Can you give me an idea of how much does it cost? More or less. Can you give me a range of how much does it cost? Well, it finally struck him because initially he was irritated by that question. But then he took a different approach, shift his mindset. He said, well, wait a minute. If everybody's asking that question, maybe, just maybe, we should answer that question on the website. So he wrote an article. It was called guideline or a field guide to, the cost of a fiberglass pool. And I forget the title, but it was something like that. And in that article, he walks through what it actually costs to actually have a fiberglass pool, but also what are the cost drivers and also where are the cost savers. In other words, he gave customers the information they were searching for online, so they can actually make a rational decision. In other words, decide whether to contact a pool company or not. Now, there are many reasons why people don't put pricing on their websites. And Marcus Sheridan goes through this list, and I'm going to add one more to the list of why people don't do it. And then he debunks that very logic. For example, one reason maybe you don't put your pricing on your website is because you're thinking, well, Victor, every solution is different. Well, yeah. You got to understand, customers know that every solution is different. And what they're really looking for is, again, for you to kind of, walk them through mentally, like, what are some of the cost drivers that will drive the price up? What are some of the cost savers that I can take out and maybe I don't need and will drive costs down? Keep in mind that customers, just like you, be a buyer for once and think, what would I want from a website? I want it to kind of give me a range, an idea of what it's going to cost. And if I kind of like the range, I'm going to make the phone call. Now, think about this. This makes absolute sense in terms of people pre-qualifying themselves. Because if I know how much it's going to cost, I have an idea what the cost drivers or the cost savers are, and I make the call, I've just pre-qualified myself. But if I don't know what the pricing is, and I call you, and then you tell me the price eventually, I'm going to be shocked and just walk away and say, yeah, not for me. In other words, I didn't qualify myself. So every solution is different, but that doesn't give you a reason not to kind of highlight or share with customers, potential buyers, prospects, what the cost may or may not be. In other words, give them a price range. Number two, maybe you're thinking, well, Victor, if I put price on the website, my competitors will know about it. Well, guess what? They already do. Come on. You don't have the secret sauce. You don't have anything magical. You don't have any unicorns working for you. Your pricing is just like everybody else's. Okay, maybe plus or minus 10, 15%, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, customers don't buy on price. We know that. They buy on value. So that's not a good reason not to have price. The third reason, a lot of people don't put their pricing on their websites. That, Victor, if I put my pricing, it will scare them away. Well, look, if your biggest concern is about scaring your customers away, then good for you because that's who you want to scare away. Think about this. If somebody can't afford to buy your product or service, then why do you want them to reach out to you? Why not be upfront? And again, Marcus Sheridan makes a great point in this book because he's really highlighting the fact, this myth about not sharing price with our customers until they contact us. And that leads to the fourth one that I would add to the list, and that is, Victor, I want people to call me first. Like that, I can create value over the phone. Well, look, if you can't create value on your website, I don't think it's going to help you on the phone as much. But then think about it from this perspective. If you scare the customers off, they're never going to contact you, and you'll never have that conversation in the first place. So what does Marcus Sheridan suggest? On your website, maybe there should be a discussion of price consideration, price levers, as I already mentioned. explain to people, in an article, in a blog, maybe in a video. Look, when you're looking at this type of product or this type of service, here are kind of some of the price considerations. If you want A, B, C, D, then you're kind of looking at this range. But if you only need A, then you're really looking at this range. But the best thing to do is contact us and we'll have a conversation and we see what fits you. See, that's a real conversation that you can have through your website. So consider the fact that if you don't have a cost or price conversation on your website, you may be losing a lot of traffic. And again, it's business that you're never going to see, and you're never going to know that you missed it. Now, what's interesting in the book, Marcus claims that over an 8 to 9 year period, one article that he wrote, basically a guideline to what the cost of a fiberglass pool is, has generated his company $6 million because people who would have otherwise just clicked off and gone somewhere else actually reached out, contacted them, and they actually converted them into actual customers. So think about it. Share your pricing on your website, share the costs and considerations, and you may be surprised at who reaches out and contacts you for more information. And that is it for the Sales Influence Podcast. Leave me some feedback on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, or wherever you find me. Also, check out the Sales Velocity Academy. Over 50 courses, 500 videos to help you sell more faster and more effectively. And lastly, I want to thank you. This is Victor Antonio, always reminding you, selling ain't hard when you know how. Take care.
Hi, I'm Victor Antonio. I'm an author, sales trainer, and keynote speaker. I'm often asked, what makes a great speaker? Is it someone who delivers real content that the audience can use? Is it someone who engages the audience so they're part of the learning experience? Or is it someone who can motivate an audience to push them beyond their comfort zone and discover new abilities? The answer is yes. But the most important thing to remember is that I'm not there to look good. I'm there to make my client look good. Simply put, it's never about me, and it's always about them.